Welcome back, Patriots, to the Bald Brad Show. And you know what I just realized? We don't even have the show lights on today. We are a disheveled mess here on the Bald Brad Show, but I'll tell you what, we still bring you the news and we still bring you the truth. Patriots, hopefully you're doing well. It is Tuesday, August 27th. We got to make sure we date the show. Wild news in the sense of Mark Zuckerberg coming out and saying, yeah, the BidenHarris administration tried to censor me on multiple fronts. Insane, and we'll make sure we break everything down for you. Always want to give a shout out to the Patriots. We got a lot of people here. Miriam, Pat's here, Danielle, Mizzy, Karen, Take America Back, Secret Agent, Betts is here, Kathleen. I wish this was bigger than me. Snarf, Bald Brad, which is me, Mizzy PT302. Always good to see you, sir. Deborah, we got a lot. Robert's here, Cece. All right, everyone's coming in for a Tuesday morning show. We also have Tulsi Gabbard endorsing Trump, which is a remarkable thing to see two back-to-back Democrats in full support of Tulsi Gabbard. And people are claiming with this news, with Zuckerberg, could he also come out and redeem himself and saying, look, I screwed up big time. I'm endorsing Donald Trump for the president of the United States. But, you know, I'm hearing a lot of things from him saying he's unbiased. So we'll get into all of it, folks. Johnny, it's good to see you. Let's break it down. As I mentioned, Tulsi Gabbard is coming out and endorsing Trump for president. She says, I'm committed to doing all that I can send President Trump back to the White House where he can once again serve us as our commander-in-chief. Look, it's a remarkable thing, all these Democrats coming out and supporting Donald Trump.
Be here with all of you, my brothers and sisters in uniform, especially on this day of all days. I had the privilege of joining President Trump this morning at Arlington Cemetery, where he joined two Gold Star families.
Just want to point out, where was Kamala Harris and Joe Biden? Well, Joe Biden's on vacation right now. Yes. Yeah, you heard that correctly. You're going again? He's on vacation again? Yeah. Dude's on vacation. Don't worry, though. He's out there and he's making sure he's fixing all the issues along with Kamala Harris. Where's Harris at? Why was she not at Arlington Cemetery?
And loved ones of Staff Sergeant Hoover and Sergeant G, both of whom were two of the 13 killed in the Abbey Gate attack 3 years ago today in Kabul. And I can tell you, as we were there, as he laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier, joining these Marines' loved ones, I felt the sorrow that he shared with them in their loss. I felt and saw his sincere appreciation for these servicemen and women who paid the ultimate price and their loved ones who continue to grieve to this day.
I really do mean this. I personally don't understand why some veterans or military personnel would want Kamala Harris or hell even Joe Biden to be their commander-in-chief. I really don't get that. And maybe it's because I'm not a service member. My grandfather was in World War II, was in Pearl Harbor. My dad served on the destroyer. I don't get it. Maybe some of you Patriots in the chat, I know, Neil, you're a vet. We got other veterans in here as well. Explain that one to me. But here she is saying the quote, I'm committed to doing all that I can to send President Trump back in the White House.
Brink of nuclear war than we ever have been before. This is one of the main reasons why I'm committed to doing all that I can to send President Trump back to the White House where he can once again serve us as our commander-in-chief.
There you go. There you go. What more needs to be said? So you have Democrats. Now we have RFK coming out, which most likely is going to be in the administration. There's sprinklings of Elon Musk being in the administration. I'll maybe, if we have time, play that clip for you. That comes from the Sean Ryan podcast. He recently interviewed Donald Trump. If you haven't seen that, that interview is going bonkers. Great interview. Great job by Sean Ryan. And then you have some Democrats like James Carville saying that RFK Jr. should be locked up in a mental institution. He should be off the streets. Of course, it's on CNN.
I really feel sorry for the Kennedy family because I'm going to remind them, you can pick your friends, you can't pick your relatives. And if Bobby Kennedy lived in a more humane country, they would have him in a nice rubber room and, 3 hots in a cot and take care of this guy. He has no business being out on the street mixing and mingling with people. But this is where we are in this country. We have a mental health crisis. And I really feel sorry for
This guy is so out of touch, it is head spinning. He is so far gone that when Elon Musk sends people to Mars, they might find this guy's cognitive level or his brain power, or whatever the hell you want to call it. It's so wild to me. It's like, dude, why don't you just for, I don't know, 30 minutes, go walk down Hollywood Boulevard, and that will actually show you what an insane asylum looks like. You got people pushing around empty wheelchairs with their hair like disheveled. They haven't showered in probably years. They smell terrible. They have actual like gowns on. You know those gowns when you all go to the hospital and it has the opening in the back? Yeah, multiples of those happening. It's not a safe area, but yeah, this guy's, RFK doesn't have it together. He just wants people to eat healthy. He should be in a rubber padded room. Like, if you put a side by side between that guy and RFK, like, who would you guess is the serial killer? You know what I mean? Who would you guess is the odd dude, right? Like, RFK can bench press this guy. You put this guy out on the front lawn during Halloween, people would think it's a puppet. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Come on. Give me a break. And so, if you recall, Joe Biden claimed that no American troops have died. And Tulsi Gabbard comes out and says, oh, well, Donald Trump was there putting the wreath, sentimental, backing the troops. Joe Biden, again, is on vacation. Well, here's John Kirby still sitting there and covering for what Joe Biden said.
Attack that killed 13 of our servicemen. And I know you've addressed that today by saying today our longest war is over, but our commitment to preventing attacks on the homeland, our people, will never be. But as you know, John, a lot of people hearken back to Joe Biden saying that the truth is I'm the only president of this century, this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world like he did, referring to Donald Trump, when in fact that was the case. And besides those 13 who died, 2 Navy SEALs who were killed in January of 2024 while attempting to board a ship bound for Yemen. And he has never clarified it himself or apologized for those remarks himself. I know he offered praise and recognition of these soldiers' bravery 3 years ago, but he has never corrected the record to say, I was wrong, and I was callously wrong.
What he was referring to, and he understands that there were family members that, that didn't like that, but what he was referring to was the fact that he ended America's longest war and that we don't have American troops, on the ground in major ways fighting overseas wars. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't have.
You notice how he sat there and corrected himself in real time because he was about to say we don't have any troops on the ground, which is obviously total baloney. So in real time, he changed his wording so that he's not basically a liar. But sitting here coming for Joe Biden still is insane.
Troops in harm's way? Of course we do. We have some in Iraq. We have some in Syria. We have some at sea. And certainly we have some in the air every single day. And he knows that.
But it's very little comfort, right, to those families, John. And I don't want to extend this beyond what you yourself have tried to clarify. But the president himself, if you make an incorrect statement and you keep making that incorrect statement, is he compelled himself, wherever he is, vacationing or not, to say, I was wrong to miss this obvious point about no soldiers dying under my watch.
The president was making a larger point about ending our longest war.
Yeah, but they're
no
a
other
large
commander
point,
chief.
right, John? They're a large point.
He also recognizes, Neil, that nothing he can say, particularly on a day like today, when we should be remembering the 13 who were killed at Abbey Gate, nothing he can say is going to assuage their grief, their sorrow.
So Dave brings up a great point. He's asking which ceasefire. They're talking about the ceasefire between Hamas as well as Israel that they're trying to get down to it. Because if you recall, the Houthis attacked, well, I guess the Israelis attacked the Houthis attacked the Israelis from Jordan or wherever. But the other thing that's remarkable here that I want to speak on is the fact that he's still covering up for Joe Biden's cognitive decline. So did Kamala Harris. I love how this just leaves the news, but it's a constant theme. For those that are longtime Bald Brad Show viewers, we cover the White House press briefings. And I used to get so frustrated the fact that no reporters in that room were covering Joe Biden's confidence decline. And I have people that I know in that room, and I say, why aren't you guys covering this stuff? And, they give all these sorts of reasons and, whatever. And then finally somebody asks about it, and it gets traction, and then disappears. And then we see Donald Trump destroy Joe Biden in the debate because of head not working. And it just becomes mainstream news again, and then it disappears. You also have Texas governor here announcing removal of over 1.1 million ineligible voters from state rolls. Now, if you notice a constant theme, the Republicans here are willing to clean up their voter registration rolls. Democrats, folks, are not. I don't know if we're shooting ourselves in the foot here or what. I like that this is something that we're doing, but you're not seeing it from Democrat states. For example, there's a lawsuit by the GOP happening in Nevada right now, which we've covered because Nevada is not cleaning up their voter registration rolls. They're sending out ballots to people that don't even live at those properties. It's going somewhere else, or somebody's taking them, voting on their behalf, and then submitting it, which is illegal. We know that a handful, like 20% of people, voted from properties that they no longer lived at, because they admitted it, by the way, in that study. There's also people that were voting from properties that physically didn't exist. We know that, not just because they admitted it, but hell, because you can actually go and verify that stuff for yourself. You had people going out to the desert. The properties used to be there, but you look around, that's all you're seeing is dirt. It's sand. See that, Democrats? It's sand. There's nothing there, but they don't get it. They don't wrap it around their heads. And so the purge includes 6,500 non-citizens. Wait, but hold on. How are those on the rolls, Patriots? We were told by Democrats consistently, by the way, like almost every week, they can't register to vote. They can't get on the voter registration rolls. They can't vote. How the F is this happening then? Explain that to me. Oh, well, those are cheap fakes and deep fakes. More than 6,000 individuals with felony convictions. Well, how'd they get on there? Granted, maybe they didn't have a felony when they were registered. Should have been removed. 457,000 deceased individuals. Now, all these people in other states will vote, folks. Be ready for that one. More than 134,000 voters who moved out of state. Now, I want to point out to this one because this one's big, and that's what I was referring to, the state of Nevada. Pennsylvania's doing it, and I think the other one is Michigan, might be the other lawsuit. I know there's 3 specific lawsuits that we've covered here in the past that I've talked about this. But here's the tweet from Greg Abbott. Over 1 million, man. That's wild. Over 65,000 voters who failed to respond to a notice of examination. 19,000 voters who registered to cancel their registration. Now, if this is happening in Texas, 1 million. Can you imagine what the numbers look like in states that, I don't know, don't ever clean up their voter registration rolls? It has to be head-spinning numbers, you guys. And like I mentioned, everything that took place in 2020, it's happening all over again. And that's why one of Trump's daughters was on Fox News yesterday that we covered, saying, hey, we have a bunch of trained Republicans that are verified to be at these polls, and they selected 50 out of like 700. And then they selected a few thousand Democrats to go to the polls. So you're going to have more Democrats in proportion by far than actual Republicans at these polls. They're pulling it again, you guys, and I'm telling you, we called it. We have all our episodes up saying they're going to pull the foozery. They're going to be doing some shady stuff, folks. So make sure we all check that out together. It's good seeing you, Patriots. If you're just joining us, hit that like button. It really does support us. If you feel like already we deserve that subscription, hit that follow button or that subscription button. We'd love to have you. A lot of people over at Rumble too, folks. Good to see you. I see y'all in the chat. We gave the shout outs. Good morning, Carrots. Good to see you. Well, folks, Kamala Harris was nominated. What was it? The 23rd of July? It's been a month. It's been over a month. And guess what? Still no interview. What the fuck? I told you this. Did I not call it? Did I not say it's going to be like at the tail end of August at best, or it's going to be right before the debate between her and Donald Trump on September 10th, and we will be live for it, folks. We will be live for it. And I'm going to have to think about a whole new bingo card for us. For those that are new viewers, whenever we do a live stream for like special events like the debates or like the State of the Union, we play a bingo card, and some people will do a drinking game on here. If we get, a square. You could take a shot or whatever. You're going to be loaded by the end of the night, but you could play. And I got to think of a whole new board, and that takes time. I was set up for Joey. It was easy. Kamala, I'm not so sure, and you'll see why in just one moment, because she's a freaking weed in the wind. You'll see it. Oh, don't worry. We got a lot of stuff on Kamala. So Vice President Harris has not sat down for a media interview or a single news conference since July 23rd. How can you be a Democrat? Be like, I'm for her. I know all her policies. I know her like the back of my hand. I can tell you anything about her. How? She hasn't said shit since she was running for office like a decade ago. Give me a break. It wasn't a decade ago. It was 4 years. Long enough. Feels like a decade. There are only 5 days left before the end of the month. Now, she said she was going to do an interview before the end of the month. That's what she said. Now, here's the quote. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt, you guys. Scheduling. Harris told reporters on August 8th, the 27th, like 20 days ago, she wanted to get an interview scheduled before the end of the month. I'll see if I could squeeze you in. What are you doing? I'm looking around. I'm not seeing anything change. I still see illegals pouring across the border. I still see wars happening across the globe. People fucking killing each other left and right. Remember, Democrats go, she shows up to work every day to fix our issues. Nothing gets fixed. Nothing gets solved. And we continue to get reamed. There are 5 days left and no word on who gets the first sit-in. Well, come on. What, do you think it's going to be Fox News? It's going to be CNN, MSNBC, probably ABC, something like that. You know, get George Stephanopoulos out there to rub your shoulders. She spent a mere, we called this before. It's actually more than 70 seconds. If you take in the total time and consideration of her talking to reporters on August 8th, it was 112 seconds. That's the amount of time she spent in front of reporters. Sounds very similar to Joey, does it not? Folks, we got a lot of stuff here for you today. A lot of stuff. Now, here's the big one that dropped yesterday. If you have friends that don't watch the show, send it to them now so they can jump in for us, because what I'm about to display to you is breaking viral right now. A little bit last evening. Now, it takes a little bit of what took place prior. Donald Trump gets elected in the office, right? I'm going to build the border wall. Thing's going to be seen from space. Elon Musk's going to be looking in his binoculars from Mars and going, holy shit, that's Donald Trump's wall. Big, beautiful gates. So, for those, again, I'm a Trump supporter. I'm not making fun of the guy. Just, it's an entertainment show. So, he wants to build a border wall, and Democrats had the other side of government, and so they're fighting him the entire time to build a border wall. We don't have enough money. That's racist. That's bigoted. It's xenophobe. You can't do that. That's terrible. Blah, blah, blah. So he couldn't really build as much border wall as he would like. Kamala Harris comes out and she's like, it's a terrible border wall. You can't do that. That's ugly. Here she is in 2019 saying as much, and then we'll get into the breaking news.
This issue is about a vanity project for this president.
Right.
And it is a problem of his own making.
Right.
And listen, when I travel this country, folks have plenty enough problems that they need their president to focus on.
You know what?
Instead of a wall that, by the way, because I was a prosecutor for many years, including the Attorney General of California, I specialize on transnational criminal organizations.
Yeah.
That wall ain't gonna stop them.
No.
That wall ain't gonna stop them. See, I don't know what it is. She goes back and forth between Indian and black and somewhat white. I don't know. It's hard to it's hard to explain.
No.
What the hell was that?
This issue.
But yeah, RFK is the one that should be in a rubber padded room. Yeah, no. So here it is. You have okay, sir. Thank you so much for following us over at Rumble. Greatly appreciate it. Harris flip-flops on the border wall. Oh god, it's so good. I couldn't wait to show you guys this. I was so antsy this morning. I was like, there's no way they're gonna believe me. Look at this. Harris flops on the border wall. If she's elected, President Kamala Harris pledges to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on the border wall. along the southern border. Talk about a flip-flop. All those years, it's racist, it's bigoted, you freaking spit on Trump and stuff. Come on, man. All of a sudden, we got millions to spend on it. Couldn't get a dime. Couldn't get a dime 4 years ago. So it's the latest example of Harris's flip-flopping. This is Axios, by the way. It's not like they're, Republican friendly here. On her past liberal positions, such as supporting Medicare for all and banning fracking, just flops over on her back. Just all of a sudden. Harris is embracing a more hawkish immigration policy as Donald Trump's campaign spends tens of millions of dollars attacking her about the border. I told you we called it. It's a phenomenal strategy. It is a phenomenal strategy by Kamala Harris. Debate's coming up in 13 days, roughly 14-ish, how you look at it. And she's going to go, Donald Trump's going to be debating her. She doesn't want a border wall. She wants to sit there and pour millions into our country and have them vote illegally. They're coming from the prisons and everywhere. And she's going to be, Donald, no, I want a border wall. And she's going to make them look stupid. Folks, we're going to be live. We'll see it happens. Hopefully Donald Trump's keeping up to date on all his flip-flop, reading the wind BS because it's wild. She still has significant differences with Trump on immigration, opposing his approach to family separation, his plans for mass deportations. Yo, it was your party that put this in place, lady. It's not your job to decide which laws in the books you get to execute and not. I know that the Biden administration and the Harris administration feel that way. They're always pick and choosy of what they want to do. And when it breaks the law and the Supreme Court says you can't do it, well, they give you the double middle finger, folks, and they still do it. What's the evidence to that? Because Democrats, well, I hope you have the receipts. The student loan debt forgiveness plan. Yeah, that whole thing, you knucklehead Democrats. That whole thing where you want to steal all our money and give it to other people, which is just a redistribution of wealth because somebody took out a student loan that they couldn't afford, which is now somehow we co-signed all their loans. Yeah, there's another example for you. But where's your receipts? Watch the damn show and we'll give you the receipts. But they can't sit through it because, evil can't handle truth. They can't. In her speech at the Democratic National Convention last week, Harris said that she would sign the recent bipartisan border security bill, which Trump had ordered his allies to kill. Now, that's alleged. We have actual no proof that Trump said that, but the media will sit there and back the Harris administration, or at least her campaign, 100%. So here's the other one here I want to show you. This comes from the Hodge twins. Kamala now says she wants a border at the southern border. She wants a wall. All she does is lie. If she's elected president, Kamala Harris pledges to spend hundreds of millions. Remember how we were told for so long that we had no money? Well, here's Fox News. Jesse Waters from Waters World talking about it.
After stealing no tax on tips, copycat Kamala is ripping off another Trump idea, the big, beautiful border wall. You're right now looking at images from a Harris campaign ad that tries to make it look as if she personally built it. It's another 180 from Kamala, who's on the record trashing Trump's border wall.
This administration has decided to vilify them and to trade on them for the sake of this president's medieval vanity project called a wall. I'm not going to vote for a wall.
Walls are medieval. Like a wall around the White House. Around a lot of people's homes, the celebrities' homes, her home.
Wall under any circumstances.
Guess what, you guys? These are walls. Democrats, you see, these are called walls. It's medieval. Oh, gosh. These people. I'll tell you what, folks. They don't like truth. They don't want truth. They want to lie and manipulate the American people. They've been doing it for quite some time. And quite frankly, they don't want the truth out there. And this is our lead story of the day right here. They don't want the truth, folks. Zuckerberg, BidenHarris repeatedly pressured us to censor free speech. We'll come back to it. I'll tell you what, we're going to come back to it in just one moment because we need to get free speech out there. And there's somebody that backs free speech, and that's Truth Social, folks. Big tech is suppressing free speech. We're about to get into it bigly everywhere. And it's clear their censorship campaign is going to get even worse. Without free speech, we won't have a free society. And that's why you need to dump the big tech bosses and join the Truth Social movement now. At Truth Social, you can get all your news and opinions set up or join the groups based on your hobbies or interest and make yourself heard on any issue without being squelched by big tech censors. Join the network. that the leading platform is directed, unfiltered, and accessed to Donald Trump's social media posts. If you want instant access to all of Trump's announcements, plans, and reactions to the biggest issues of the day, or you can just watch the show as well, Truth Social is the social media platform for you. It's free, folks. Again, it's free, but break free of big tech suppression like you see from Meta, like you see from other places, previously X or Twitter. Strike a blow against cancel culture and reclaim your rights on America's premier free speech platform, media platform as well. Join Truth Social today, folks. Check it out. We actually do have a Truth Social account. I'm trying to be able to get into my account. I don't know what's going on, but you should be able to find Bald Brad, or it might be Conservative Brad. We do have an account over there. And maybe I should post more because you're seeing what they're doing over at Meta. So again, Mark Zuckerberg said in a letter on Monday that the Biden administration repeatedly pressured his company. Now, we knew this was taking place. This actually is not full-fledged news, but it's kind of coming back again with other aspects that he posted in a letter that kind of gave us a little bit more. If you recall, on the Joe Rogan podcast, this had to be a while ago, he talked about how the FBI came kind of knocking on their door and didn't explicitly tell him to suppress information. The reason why I want to cover this as well is you're seeing what they're doing us to YouTube, right? I see it, Patriots, and we're running promotions now, which is why our subscribers are going up, but our viewership isn't going up in proportion of our subscribers. And the only reason that happens is either the content is dog shit, not good, or somebody's doing some funky stuff. I went as far, and I shared this with all of you before we continue. I shared my analytics with ChatGPT, and I have the highest form of ChatGPT. I was like, okay, can you pretty much like run an analysis, because it looks like they're shadow banning me. I showed you guys the receipts, and at the end it said, yeah, this is what it looks like. It looks like they're throttling you and shadow banning you. Those are the two words it used. And that's why we're over at Rumble as well, folks, to get free speech out there. So if you're not following us over at Rumble, please do so. We're trying to get to 1,000. We're at 930 followers over at Rumble. We're at like 64,000 plus on YouTube. We're trying to grow, so I'd love your follow, folks. We are here 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every single morning. Now, he sent this letter. He sent this letter to Jim Jordan. We love Jim here, the Republican from Ohio. And it says this: in 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, so it should be the BidenHarris administration. He kind of left that one out conveniently. Reportedly pressured our teams for months to censor what? Oh, COVID-19 content. Oh, including humor and satire. You would be deplatformed if you made a joke about it. You talk about it, you're gone. Folks, that is like 1984 George Orwell stuff. That's Orwellian. And expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. He said in the letter, ultimately, it was our decision whether or not to take content down. Well, what'd they do? Oh, they caved. When you have the big guy, right? The guy that's taking 10% off the top, meaning Joe Biden, and his little lady, meaning we'll call it, can we say Kamala's a witch? Can we say Kamala's a witch? Kamala Harris. They did it, and they actually took it down. They caved to the pressure, is what they did. It doesn't say that, but they caved to the pressure. I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it. People are saying that he released this letter because there's a whistleblower that's about to come out. Now, is that true? I don't know. So take it with a grain of salt, but that's what's being said. I also think we made some choices that, with the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today. Like I said, to our teams at the time, I feel strongly that we would not compromise our content standards due to pressure from any administration or either direction. Now, this is BS. The reason why is they did this not only with the Russian disinformation, not only did they do this with COVID-19, but they also did it with the Hunter Biden laptop. Like, I get, hey, like, fool me once, right? But you sat there and did it multiple times. So this right here, this is meaningless. This is BS to me. And Zuckerberg, a lot of Republicans are like, oh, he's getting behind this. This is great. He's realizing the free speech movement. No, he's not. He did it multiple times. Look at this. He said that the company made a mistake by temporarily demoting a New York Post story during the 2020 election about the Hunter Biden's laptop after falsely suggesting that this was part of a Russian disinformation operation. Now, if he's admitting that the Biden-Harris administration, as well as his own company, sat there and suppressed information that would have changed or swung 17% of voters during the 2020 election, Why is that not election interference? But Donald Trump makes a phone call and all of a sudden that's election interference. You notice that Democrats don't ever talk about this? Y'all notice that? It's all, Donald Trump's January 6th, he tried to steal the election. Yeah, the government was being overran. Yep, all three branches. It was done because of those people that stormed the Capitol. It's like, really? You're gonna tell me that the government was being overran? Okay, yeah. At that point, you just don't take them seriously. I'm not saying January 6th was a great day. January 6th was a frustrating and bad day with these idiots going inside the Capitol and storming it. Not all of them did anything bad. Some of them were just walking around just like, holy crap, look at the walls. This is what my tax dollars are going towards. You know what I mean? This is nice marble. Is this polished? That's what some people were doing. And then some people were down the street a few blocks away buying some hot dogs, and then the FBI shows up at their door. It's since been made clear that the reporting was not Russian disinformation. No shit, Sherlock, you idiot. Why don't you wait till the facts come out before you start suppressing people's speech? And by the way, if they want to lie about it, that's fine. Let them lie about it. It's free speech. Well, you know, turns out it wasn't Russian disinformation. So if you're not 100% sure, then why would you sit there and suppress all of them? What's going on, Bats? Good to see you. We shouldn't have demoted the story. We have changed our policies and processes to make sure this doesn't happen again. For instance, we no longer temporarily demote things in the U.S. while waiting for fact checkers. Yo, that's what I just said. What? Why don't you wait for the facts to come out? None of this matters now because you got an idiot in office that basically allowed get elected because nobody knew this was happening because they all trusted you. While we're coming out like, don't trust social media, they're liars. He's just outright saying, yeah, we lied to you, we bullshitted you, but nothing's going to happen. Nobody goes to jail. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So the White House did respond, by the way. You got to kind of dig in the Fox News article for the response. It's way down here, but I got it for you. You guys know I got it. Come on, I take care of you. You take care of me, I take care of you, patriots. It says right here. I had to dig a little bit. Look, I had to dig a little bit. It keeps going. A White House spokesperson responded to Fox News. Quote, when confronted with a deadly pandemic, this administration encouraged responsible actions. See, it's just responsible that they sit there and silence you. You have an administration. Yeah, somebody said cheap fake. There you go, Pat. Responsible actions to protect public health and safety. So you instantly lose your rights because there's for safety. This is scary speech right here. When they start attributing your words to safety, which is a very big talking point of the left-hand side of the aisle, you're harming me, you're hurting me. Speech does not hurt you. Somebody could take offense to what I'm saying, and then somebody could find it very comedic and enjoyable, like the Patriots that come in here every single day and we hang out together as a community. Responsible act. Come on, get out of here. To protect public health and safety. It's all for your safety, you guys. Suppress what you're saying. It's for your safety. When the government's telling you what they deem as safe and not, and what speech to allow and not, you are seeing the ends of a republic, folks. I'm telling you now. We are an outlier in terms of republics in human history. Nobody's ever made it this long. Our position has been clear and consistent. Oh, yeah, you don't believe in free speech. You're damn right. We believe tech companies and other private actors should take into account the effects their actions have on American people while making independent choices about the information they present. Wild stuff. And Democrats are for it. So every time this whole administration comes out saying we're for free speech, everybody has a right to do what they want to do. Not according to them. They're just sitting there bullshitting you. I'm sorry to cuss, but that's what it is. They're lying to everybody. The DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas wanted to sit there and lead an organization from our government called the Ministry of Truth. Google that one. They wanted to sit there and tell people what they could and could not post on the internet. I don't like people lying, but they have a right to do it. I don't like people manipulating people, but they have a right to do it. Like, we're biased here, obviously, hence the flag, right? The logo. I say I'm Republican, although I'm a fiscal conservative, but I'm a Republican registered. Like, I'm a Trump supporter. Like, at least I'm open about it. Trying to see what you all think about this in the chat, because that's why we moved our platform over to Rumble, folks. That's why we're using it as our main hub here, with the thanks of Dylan for helping us out with that. That YouTube's doing the exact same thing. YouTube is 100% throttling people, and nobody's looking under the hood of it. And I don't have a voice that's big enough yet to sit there and say, yo, Jordan or Matt Gaetz or Marjorie Taylor Greene or Trump, like, can you look into what's going on with YouTube? Now, there is a suit that's happening with Rumble that is coming out that YouTube is doing what we think that they're doing, and it's going to be in the millions, allegedly. And speaking of Rumble, you have the CEO here coming out talking about what we just said. This is explosive and damning. In 2021, during COVID, Rumble told the media to pound sand. We told tech companies threatening to cancel us to pound sand. We did not fold, and we had balls of steel. And he's absolutely correct, because everybody did, including Twitter. And this was before Elon had it. He says, but Brad, you still haven't came out of the closet. I see what you did there, Pat. Jeez Louise, brother. Jeez Louise. Bruce says, right on, Pac-Man. Come on, man. Try to see what y'all saying here. I want to show some love to you. Michelle, 1969. Oh, I'm educated. It's that you need to realize facts. Either way, I don't care. Yeah, you gotta read, right? You gotta look through it and parse. I mean, I have to do that on my end. I've slipped up once here on the show, which isn't a bad. I mean, we do this every single day, right? I did slip up on one thing with the Trump assassination, where I showed you that clip of what looked like the bullet going through his ear. And I called it out when I found out that it wasn't real. And actually, I removed the post. So we're one mistake out of, I don't know, it was this episode, 700 something? It's really, we're probably done 1,000 episodes. So it's not bad odds of me getting things right. Now, we also got something that was done right. And that's 16 states suing the Biden-Harris administration over this illegal amnesty program. Now, we always said this was the goal, right? We always said that the goal was to allow as many illegal aliens into the country and then sit there and use the wall as a bargaining chip for Republicans to give mass amnesty. That was always the goal. Well, they're trying to sit there and push forward some amnesty before they do a mass amnesty. Lulu says, almost every patriot I follow and am supposed to get notifications from, I have to manually look them up on YouTube. Absolutely correct. There's a case in point. You guys are being unsubscribed. The comments are getting deleted. I hear it. I see you guys. Trust me. I read your comments. 16 Republican-led states filed a lawsuit in partnership with America First Legal against the Biden-Harris administration over a plan to give as many as 1.3 million illegal immigrants, which is 1.3 million votes for Democrats, immediate executive amnesty. Now, why would they want it immediate? Why can't they just go and just kind of wait for the paperwork to process? Well, because the paperwork's going to get processed after the election. That's why. And they want to do this immediately because they only have a couple months before the election takes place, and they need this stuff filed now. They need it timed, date stamped now, so those people can be registered to vote if they're not already. Well, they can't register to vote because they're illegal. Then why are people cleaning up their voter registration rules like we just saw in Texas in one of our first stories, sitting there removing 6,500 illegal aliens? Sure. The lawsuit filed on Friday challenges a new parolee in-place program from the Biden-Harris administration's Department of Homeland Security that effectively provides a new pathway to citizenship for more than 1 million illegal aliens. Again, it's all for votes. That's all it is. It's all for votes. We know nothing about... So allegedly, some of these people are married to somebody that's here, and they want to give them citizenship because they're married to a U.S. citizen. Why can't you just file the paperwork and wait just like everybody else? There's a constant theme here with Democrats where we're for the law. We like following rules unless the rules fit your narrative. And then you just let somebody else cut the line. How about all those other people that have been waiting for a long ass time and paying money, done the tests, all that stuff to get their immigration status cleared? Like what makes you so holier than thou that you get to sit there and cut the line ahead of everybody? No. You're right. I'm going on a little bit of a damn tangent here because it's frustrating as hell. I go to Disneyland all the time. All the time I go to Disneyland. Matter of fact, I'm going tonight. So if any Patriots are going to be at Disneyland tonight and you see me walking around, say, what's up? We'll take a picture with you. There's people in line. I live in Southern California, okay? A lot of Democrats. A lot of Democrats. You sit there in Disneyland that you've been waiting an hour, 2 hours in line for, and somebody cuts your ass in line and you've only been waiting for 2 hours? You lose your shit, Democrats. What are you doing cutting the line? Blah, blah, blah. But when somebody sits here and does it illegally and cuts everybody else that's been waiting their time, all of a sudden it's fine. You want to know why? Because it doesn't personally affect them. When they're waiting in line for an amusement park ride or at the grocery store or wherever, it does not matter. Maybe at line at a traffic light, doesn't matter. Concert, who cares? You get pissed off because it personally affected them. This has not personally affected them yet, but it will. And here's the sad thing is it's personally affecting Americans because some of these people, some Democrats, hear that word, some Democrats, you hear that? Some are sitting there raping our women and children and murdering Americans. Some, not all, but they conflate it. It's a really remarkable thing. They don't know the word some. They actually don't know that it's just a small portion of illegal immigrants that are committing these terrible crimes. They can't conflate it. So when you talk about some, that small circle compared to the big one, Democrats, you see the difference? One's big. Yes, good. Okay, follow me along. See how it shrinks? You see that? Maybe Dan's in here, guys. You see how it shrinks? Good. Okay, follow along here. Big, small. Yeah. That small portion is killing and raping women and children. Yes, and American citizens, and doing smash and grabs and looting. Yeah, which should never happen in the first place. But it's so tiny. Good. People not with us, man. They're not with us, Patriots. I'm telling you. You see them come in the chat, right? You see them. They come in here every now and then. They start spamming like we saw that psycho yesterday who got banned. It's just, come on. Like, what are they doing coming in here? They think they're going to win. Look, I wouldn't be so strong in my words with like Dan or that guy that was like JRE Reviews or whatever if I didn't know I was right on some issues. Same, no Disney, no Netflix. I love going to Disneyland. It's like, I know I'm going to the dark side, but I have a good time walking around. I do. Judge me. I don't care, Patriots. I love it. So it's kind of a random transition, but it does fit into Disney a little bit because Disney's tailoring back their DEI initiatives, allegedly. They got rid of a lot of the Star Wars content that they most recently came out with. And now Lowe's is cutting ties with leftist activist group, scales back DEI initiatives. They're slowly realizing, and it's a remarkable thing that actually took this long, for them to realize that DEI is a terrible thing for corporations, and it's only losing them money. Which is such a weird thing that they don't understand that these executives that are on the left progressive side of the aisle could care two bleeps about your corporation. They only care about their ideology, and their ideology, they care about it so much because they're basically in this cult mindset that they can't be wrong, and they're willing to cripple these companies in the sake of pushing these initiatives and these agendas. Look across the board at almost every company that pushes DEI agenda, they're crippling in some way, shape, or form. How's Bud Light doing right now? Oh yeah, Bud Light's never recovered. And I think it's going to take them a long time to recover. Well, Lowe's is the latest major corporation here in America to hit the brakes on pushing woke initiatives as conservative customers and activists around the country demand that companies stop adopting left-wing policies. Conservative activist Rob Starbuck announced on Monday that Lowe's had announced its employees that it would no longer be funding pride events. Good. Why would you sit there and... Don't get me going. Leftist Human Rights Council. It was ran by the Leftist Human Rights Council. They're not left. It's in the name. Not really, but it's called Human Rights Council, but it's leftist. So that was big news. Big news there. There's Robbie Starbuck. If you didn't remember kind of what he looked like, he's a pretty known person. I love this. Good. So other people like Home Depot need to stop going woke. We covered Home Depot. It's one of our most popular videos for posting their stuff in their employee room, pushing their agenda. It's a bunch of hubbub. It's a bunch of nonsense. It needs to stop. People are tired of it. And the other thing we're tired of is just being lied to the media, manipulated by the Biden administration. And so here's John Kirby again in that same interview that we saw previously. That press secretary, co-press secretary, by the way, John Kirby swears Biden is very engaged. Oh, he's very engaged.
I'm a little confused, John. I know the president took vacation last week in California after the Democratic convention. He's hitting another week to that in Rehoboth, Delaware this week. How engaged is he in any of this?
He's very engaged, Neil. I mean, you know as well as I do, the president and
I want to make sure that we all get this.
Another week to that in Rehoboth, Delaware this week. How engaged is he in any of this?
He's very engaged, Neil. I mean, you know as well as I do, the president of the United States, wherever they are, have access to all the communications and all the advisors that they need. I mean, he was being updated on the attacks over the weekend in real time by his national.
Folks, Joe Biden is on vacation for like the next week. He's not engaged. He's not even there. I'm not saying you can't run the country from another place. Trump did a lot of golf trips, and I didn't mind it early on because the country was doing so well. If you got to, at some point, when you created a machine that just everything's kind of moving together, you just let the machine do its thing. You take a step back and you okay, we got everything kind of working, the bells and whistles, everything seems to be going in the right direction. Go on a golf trip, go on vacation and run it from there when things are going fine. Trump, I get that he was going golfing during COVID if he could. Yo, you got to blow some steam every now and then. Fine with it. But Joe Biden's been on more vacations than any sitting president in American history, and the country's going down the dumps. It just says everything that Donald Trump could sit there and run the country on a fucking golf cart, and Joe Biden can't run the country when he's even in the White House. Or Kamala Harris. Either one. Donald Trump could be playing 18 holes and run the country. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden could be in the actual White House and still not have a damn clue on how to run things. That tells you everything you need to know about the two administrations right there. That is basically a summed up part right there. Is it not? I think it is, Patriots. I think it freaking is. Hate to say it. I don't hate to say it. I love to say it. And the other thing I love to say here is stop buying coffee from companies like Dunkin'. They say America runs on Dunkin'. No, it doesn't. America runs on 1775 Rumble Coffee. Dunkin' hates you guys, by the way. Switch to a coffee brand that, enjoys your values, where you can enjoy a premium, fresh, roasted coffee right here in America, whether you prefer ground whole beans, K-Cups, rich cocoa, or a fresh cold brew bags. Coffee brand has got you covered, folks. Let me take a sip. Let me wet the whistle before we continue this ad read. Oh, I love coffee. It's so good. Look, they got you covered with products that don't push or sit there and engage in an agenda. They sit there and just make great coffee. Use code Rumble15, Rumble15, no spaces, all caps, at checkout on coffeebrandcoffee.com. Secret agent, can you send this link in the back channel for me so I can post it to YouTube? For 15% of your first order, make the switch to a brand that respects your values today. Go over there, folks. That's coffeebrandcoffee.com, 15% off. And I'll make sure I post that in the description. I'll have the Truth Social link as well as the Coffee Brand Coffee in actually maybe I could just copy this. I can't. Over on YouTube. Make sure you guys get that. We're a morning show. It only makes sense to plug the coffee that has your values, right, folks? Not like this Starbucks, not like this weenie roast. Now, my nose is itchy today. I feel like you guys, whenever I go like this, my mustache and my nose get itchy because I shower before the show. I always think, I wonder if they think like I do cocaine or something. That's why I try not to do it. I don't want them to think like, yeah, man. You know what I mean? So I always get nervous whenever I do that. I don't do drugs. The most drugs I've ever done was morphine. And I passed out at the hospital when they gave it to me. That's a story for another time. Well, here's a story for you. President Trump visits a Vietnamese restaurant in Falls Church, Virginia. And just hear what they're doing. Trump's like, oh, this is like the massage parlor I've been to. Sorry, here we go.
Should I let you? Yes. At least a few words. At least a few words. We'll all fight for you, sir. So let me ask you, you still love your country, right? Yes. Yes. No, but you still love Vietnam. Yes. Not the party. Not the communist now. No communist. Not the party. Not the communist party. No communist.
But we need you. We need you for the next 4 years.
Should I let you?
They said they'll fight for him. We need you next 4 years. We need you back as president. Look at all these people, great American people. These people are living the American dream. I'm sure some of them grew up here. Some of them might be immigrants. Look at them running a business, pulling out the $20 bills to get it signed. You got to love that, huh? Michelle says, no, Brad, you're being dude with the nose. Google it. Be safe. I don't know what that is, but man, I'll have to Google it. I don't know what the heck you're talking about. It makes me nervous, Michelle. Makes me nervous. You guys in the chat, it always cracked me up. I love it. We also have here an illegal alien was arrested in Mississippi on dozens of charges, including attempted murder after a string of shootings that injured 3 people. The illegal, who's a Mexican national, was allowed into the country under who? The border czar, Kamala Harris. And I told you we'd try to keep you up to date with all these stories, folks. We can literally do one every single day.
Police in Philadelphia made an arrest in a shooting case, and their suspect may have been an illegal immigrant. WTOK reports Jonathan Salvador was taken into custody today. He faces dozens of charges, including attempted murder after recent shootings on Beacon Street that left 3 people injured. Salvador is from Mexico, and police believe he is in the U.S. illegally. Chief Eric Lyons says an AR-style rifle was found in his home with ammunition, and they believe Salvador intended to carry out more attacks. Police in Philadelphia.
Don't worry, she wants a border. Remember, the border walls don't work, but all of a sudden she wants a border wall. It's amazing. It's amazing how that works out. Some other quick news here from Ian Sams. Now, Ian Sams is the White House counsel. The guy's a master manipulator. I had to be careful the way I said that. And after President Trump turned in the greatest debate performance in modern political history, the Harris campaign wants to change the rules like they changed their candidate. So here we go. He's on MSNBC. MSNBC, and the Harris campaign needles Trump for wavering on debate.
This president thinks that the American people deserve a real debate where the candidates can go back and forth in real exchanges to talk about the issues that matter and to respond in real time to what you would see from President Trump, outlandish lies and attacks. And so we want that opportunity for the American people to see Donald Trump for who he is. Not censored, not muted, but the unfettered guy that he is going to be if he becomes president again, especially now that we know that the Supreme Court has given him the authority to have unfettered power. Well, the vice president thinks that the American...
Yeah, hey, so Q 1969, Brad, please tell Michelle to shut up. Yeah, I just got a notification for that. I don't know what's going on, but Michelle, be respectful to the Patriots in the chat. Or else receive my judgment. But yeah, I got you Q 1969. Michelle, be respectful. You can't be respectful, then ain't the show for you. Ain't the show. We're not beholden by a corporation. I don't do this for money. I do this for a hobby. And then you're gonna have a lot of other people gang up on you. Israel warns U.S. defense chief of Iran's aggression has reached an all-time high. I'm also hearing that Iran does not want to engage in warfare with Israel. We'll see if that actually takes place. I more or less just want to bring up the fact that that is taking place between Iran and Israel. If you recall, Iran was going to sit there and do some sort of bombardment on the Israelis for killing the leader of Hamas over there. We showed the video of it taking place. And, well, we'll see what comes of it. I think this whole thing in the chat as look, yeah, be respectful to one another, folks. Yeah, I got you, Q 1969. Thank you, man. I always appreciate it. If you can't be respectful, Get the hell out. See you later. Give you the boot. And lastly here, we talked about this a little bit. Federal judge blocks Biden admin's move to give legal status to illegal immigrant spouses. This is that update that I was talking about earlier with the 16 Republican attorney generals suing. Well, huge win for us, folks. And I wanted to end off on some good news here that we actually got this. So I said this was stupid because it's just going to give people status to vote here, even though you can vote illegally in areas. The Biden administration's efforts to grant a pathway to citizenship to some illegal immigrant spouses of U.S. citizens have been put on hold temporarily by a federal judge after a lawsuit from 16 led Republican states. So this is a great news. It's a huge win for us. Just because you're married to somebody here that's an American shouldn't give you the front of the line access for some ungodly reason. But again, Republicans play by the rules. Democrats don't. So I'm just going to put her in timeout. So if those are curious, I banned Michelle for 24 hours. It's just annoying. She can come back later. Sometimes you have to put kids in timeout. Yeah, I apologize, Patriots. Remember, I can't. The chat goes by so fast, and I'm trying to pay attention. But that's why I wanted a moderator. Q1969. I just want to give a call out and a shout out to Secret Agent. She's the one that notified me. I get notifications here. So if you see me looking down, I'm checking my watch and I'm reading the notifications. So if people don't want to be respectful, they don't have to be here. And I don't think it's right that we have longtime viewers here. And, you know, I got to make sure I take care of you guys. You take care of us here. And that's what it's all about. We got each other's six. So I appreciate it. And I apologize for not seeing that earlier. So, yeah, she can go to 24 hours. She wants to come back later. She can. Only Democrats sit there and silence people. No, Republicans do it too. If you want to sit there and, you know, engage in that type of stuff, then you can come back later and be a little bit more respectful. Well, with that being said, folks, I'm sorry to end kind of on a bad note here. That was kind of rough. Let's go through some of the, oh, we got another read here. Good morning, Patriot family. Hey, good to see you, Eric. Eric, you missed all the stuff. You got it, Q. Appreciate it. I want to go through some of your guys' stuff here. He has dementia. Yeah. Wasn't that a huge lie? Unfettered power. Wonder if he ever read the SCOTUS decision. Probably not. Architect, you and your family have fun. Secret Agent for the win. Absolutely, yeah. She came in clutch today. Definitely came in clutch. Covered my tushy because I would have missed that. You know, it just shows you I kind of go in and out here of the chat, right? Because I'm trying to focus on what we're doing. So I jump in and kind of just read a comment, see if we can make some news out of it. I just got lucky with Dan the other day too, by the way. I just got lucky that I saw him in here. I'm like, wait, what's this guy keep posting about? You have to be in the country for at least 10 years before you can apply. Finish your statement. Doesn't matter. Just because you've been here for 10 years illegally, you should never been here in the first place. Well, that's it. Eric Tate could help you out. Out there, Brad. Eric Tate. I don't know who Eric Tate is. Could help you out. I don't know who that is. Well, that's it. We went an hour, folks. I hope you're doing well. Great freaking show, though. A lot of news. Watch out for that censorship taking place by Meta, Facebook, and that's why we're on X, folks. Follow me over at Twitter. That's why we're over at Rumble. Follow me over there as well. Would love to see the Patriots show up in Rumble. And with that being said, folks, hit that like and subscribe button if you feel like we deserved it. Share this link with your friends and family all over social media. And folks, I will see you later here on the Bull Brad Show. Take care, Patriots.